Hello everyone. So this is Maurya again, and today I learned about the builder design pattern. So before understanding what builder design pattern is, let's understand what kind of problem it is trying to solve. So firstly, let's say I have a class that is user, and we have a user that has first name and the last name. So what I will do is simply I have to create a constructor that will be taking first name and last name and then initialize it. But what if I have a lot of data types that comes inside this? So I have to create or initialize this in a different kind of object like string f, string email, then phone number, then I have to do address, then age. And in that way, my constructor will be a lot big and buggy. So let's think what I can think of or what possible solution I can make in order to solve this problem. So I can think of is that I can create constructor for every possible value or every possible data types for that because yeah, I can create a string first name age, or I can create a string first name phone number, then address age, and then in combination of these four and all. And this exact solution, what the, I have told you is what we call telescopic constructor anti-pattern, where we create a different combination of the constructor for those data types. Now we have one other solution that I can think of is I can create different setter methods for different data types. And then once I create the object of the user, I will just initialize that. In that way also I can just use them. But there is a problem in that because once the user is created, I have used this variable or set this variable. But let's say at any point of time in my code, I run this code again with another address. It will again run and change my address. So I don't want that because once a user is created, it should be saved inside that. So basically, we are dealing with two problems here: this telescopic constructor anti-pattern, and once I create the object, anyone can change it later. This was also a problem that I'm facing when I'm doing this. So what possible solution that I can think of? Basically, once I create the object, it does not change because here it is getting changed. So this is the solution. Or I can say that I want to set optional parameter one by one. If the parameter is optional, I want to change it one by one, or whatever the optional parameters required, I just inject it and that's it. So what are the solutions? Simply for this, because I have to create object is created at once and is not changed, basically I will create a class and make all the variable in it as private. And I want to set optional parameter one by one, so I will create another class and I'm calling it as builder class, and I will have some setter methods inside that. And one important method that I will be creating is the build method, which will return me the user class, which will return me the user class. Why the user class? Because I have created the constructor of it as the private. So constructor is private, so I cannot create the object of this. So the object is safe, and I am creating a builder class for that that will set the parameters inside my this class. So how will I do that? Let's understand this and wrap it up. So basically I have a user class. I have a user class. Inside that user class, I also have a user builder class, which will be static. And this static mm, class has three main things. Basically, the setters, the build method, which will return the user, this user. and these are the setters that will return me this object itself or the reference of this object. So, and what this user have, it has some variables that will be final so that I cannot change it, and it has a private constructor so that I cannot create directly the user. How can I create these users? I will be using the help of the builder, user builder, and I will call this method at the last in order to create the user object, which will be returning me the user. So how will I do that? Basically, I have to go to this user, then the static variable user builder. So this is how we access them. And then inside that, I have to create or the call this build function in order to run this. So this is how the builder patterns work. There is a class. Inside that, there is a class. So there is a nested class. The class that I have created, it should have private variables, and the constructor that is initializing will be taking the user builder as the parameter. And in the user builder parameter class, that will be static, and it has the setter methods that will be returning the user builder reference, and I have a build method that will be returning me the user class. In that way I can create the object. Let's see that in a code. So basically there is a user class and these are all the private variables. Then I have created a private constructor that is taking the user builder class. Simple. And this is the user builder class that is static so that I can extract it from the class itself. Now I have duplicated all the things that I have created here. Then there is a user builder parameter that we have initialized using the default things. And then the setters that returns the builder class like this. So if the set email, I return this. Simple. And then there is a build method that returns the user object. Now, how can I call that in the main function? Let's see. So basically, if I have to create a new user called Gaurav, then I will be using new user.user builder. So I reach till this point. Then I initialize this using the constructor, and then I call this build method so that the object is created and returned. So this is what the user have. If I have to create another thing, I have created this and then set the age, set the email, and then call the build so that the object get built in. So this is what comes under the builder method. Okay, so that's it from my side. Bye bye.